So the great thing about indies is sometimes you end up with a situation where you get two well-known genres and they get mashed together and come out with something quite unique. Now, whether or not this is the next peanut butter and chocolate spread, we'll have to wait and see, but Deadlane is a new game and mixes the genres of horror and racing together. So at its heart, it is a racing game. There's 5 contestants. As you can imagine, it is also multiplayer, and it is inspired by, believe it or not, Need for Speed, which makes sense with the racing element, but also Dead by Daylight. And they've got this overarching theme, and the way that they've coined it is that they are blurring the line between hunter and victim. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. I was perplexed on how this would work, but the actual concept sounds pretty cool. So how it works is that you have laps in your standard racing game, but the person who comes last in each of the laps becomes the Grim Prix. And the Grim Prix is basically a curse holder, and you get a whole load of perks, and it basically increases your speed, makes you immune to road obstacles. However, if you hold the curse at the end of the lap, it means that you're then eliminated out of the race. So the idea is to get rid of the curse. Now, to get rid of the curse, you have to fire a projectile at another opponent, and when you do that, they then get teleported back to last position. And on paper, the idea sounds really cool, because on one side you could pick up the curse really early on, get that advantage, and then get rid of it right at the end. Or alternatively, you could play the playstyle where you just don't want the curse at all and you go for first position and you just try and avoid it. So it kind of plays out like a racing royale. You basically, I think you keep doing laps until you end up with 4 people on the map. And then from there, you end up with gold, silver, bronze, and the person who's going to be eliminated. And when they're gone, then you've got the top 3 positions. Now, to make your life more difficult, they've got a whole load of obstacles, which we talked about earlier. These include evil spirits, and these will stalk the street and can spawn by races at any given time. Now, what they do, I'm not actually sure, but I'm probably imagine it's some sort of slow or knocks you off the road. There's also the atmosphere that you have to deal with. If you look at the gameplay footage, it's very dark and grim, and there's like very evil, what you would expect in a horror racer. And there's a few more which haven't been announced, and I don't know quite what they are yet, but I'm imagining there's going to be like obstacles on the road and road bumps and all sorts of things you have to swerve out the way. Now, in terms of features that you get with the release, I'm presuming this is going to be early access by the way that they describe it. It's not actually been labelled on the Steam page so far, but there's going to be a single player mode if you don't like the multiplayer element to it and you just want to kind of do that, racing element. And they're also putting in time trials, which I know from my days of Trackmania is incredibly important to the racing community. And they've also promised some other goodies as well. So in terms of other generic details, the platform that this is going to be released on is the PC. They want to release it on all platforms, but this is what they're focusing on at the moment. So they've said that there's going to be customizations. They encourage people to customize their races. I don't know what the tweaks are or what the customizations that you can do, but they've said that they encourage players to tune their races and karts so that they get their preferred playstyle, which lends itself to that kind of deep customization, the way you can tune tires and engine bits and pieces. There is multi-language support if that matters to you. And in terms of the release date, it is planned to come out at Q3 2021. Feastgate Studios are the ones who are developing it. They're also publishing it, so I don't imagine it's going to be the quickest turnaround. But the fact that this idea is so unique and a little bit special, and I couldn't find any other horror races ever done before, as far as I know. That's unless you count Twisted Metal and Carnage as horror races. But anyway, that's all I've got on this at the moment. I think it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. As I say, it's quite a novel idea. Let me know what you think in the comments below. It has just dawned on me that this is set to come out around the horror period of Halloween, which, let's face it, is the ultimate period you want to release a horror game. But yeah, thanks for listening. Have a great week, everyone, and I'll be back with more news and reviews soon.